my uncle probably wasn't totally a spy for America during that time period.
This is Podcast New York.
What's up, Dueling Decades? This is Wax. Peace to all you guys, and thanks for having me on the show. Will it be the 90s or the 80s? Beanie Babies or Crack Babies? Will it be Nirvana or Madonna? Maybe Britney, maybe Whitney. Do you like new metal or new wave? Dave Grohl or Super Dave? I don't know. But now the battle begins. Dueling Decades. Let's see who wins.
Dueling Decades. Broadcasting from the Podcast New York studios and on PodTV Live, it's another all-new Dueling Decades, the adult-only retro game show where the decades battle for supremacy because it's your history. We just fight for it. Welcome back. I am Marc James, and this week we dive into an awesome August duel. I will be competing with the best of August 1984 alongside the other duelers and the decades they will be fighting for. First off, representing the 90s is a man who is still waiting for monkeys to fly out of his butt. Say hello to Mancrush.
Thank you, Mark. I feel like we've done this before, and I will say thank you for bringing up PodTV, and I don't have to do that this week, but I will say that we have been skipping weeks, and one of the things we never do with our audience is we never tell you what the hell we're doing. So we are kind of doing a bi-weekly thing right now where everyone's kind of busy. We got vacations going on and stuff. So if you notice we missed a week here and there, that's why. But we're still, check us out on Facebook, facebook.com/Dueling Decades. We are on there every day, so you can see that. But yeah, August of 94 is what I have.
Also returning to the show and slipping back to the 70s is the media king of the North. Please welcome back Joe Findlay.
Oh, hello, my babies. Oh, I'm getting applause. That's the first time that's ever happened on this. All right. Huzzah. Yeah, so now I'm all full of confidence, and I'm taking on August of 1974. Always a daunting task, so let's get her done.
And as always here on the show, we need somebody to adjudicate all of this awesomeness. This week's guest judges are from the high-octane rock band Moon Fever, whose new track, Single All Summer, is available now on all streaming platforms. All rise and welcome vocalist Cody, Jasper, and guitarist Mitch, Micoley.
Woo!
What's up?
What's up?
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for coming, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest will be held under Dueling Decades rules. The judges' coin flip shall decide who picks first out of the 5 Dueling Decades categories: movies, television, music, news, and hot products. A judge's ruling will determine who wins each round, allowing the victor to choose the next available category. The first 3 rounds are worth 1 point each, with rounds 4 and 5 worth 2 points apiece. And in the event of a tie, after all 5 rounds, we will go to a final wild card round. Remember, duelers, to review the show, like, subscribe, and play along at home. It's time for more Dueling Decades. All right, let's go right down to our guest judges from Moon Fever for the coin toss.
All right.
What do you got? What do you got? Was that nickel?
It's a nickel. Yeah, it's a nickel.
It's not double-sided or anything, right? It's legitimate.
Hold on, making sure. We want to show this is a real deal.
All right, Joe, call it.
All right.
Tender.
Tails in the air.
My man,
it
is heads.
Oh.
There you go. Heads. Sorry, buddy.
This is goddamn humiliating.
All right, Mancrush, you win the coin toss. That means you get to select our first category.
All right, you know what? Let's start with news. Always the greatest category to start an episode with. I'll try to keep it light with this one. So news, August of 94, filled with a bunch of downers, and I didn't want to go that route. So instead, I brought a news story to show you just how the other side lives. Wonder no more what big stars do when they're filming on location, because I'm about to fill you in this article from August 10th, 1994. And the title of this article is Sly's Hotel Bill. Whenever we stay at a hotel, we're thrilled with a giveaway sewing kit, disposable shower cap, and wrapped up 2-inch bar of cashmere bouquet. If they have a disposable razor on the counter, we're practically insane with happiness. But some movie stars, like rich people everywhere, not only never get around to using the shower caps, they sometimes don't even use the furniture. Take Sylvester Stallone, for example, the man who created a life for Rocky and rundown gyms and a crummy apartment won't even use the free drapes and carpeting that came with his suite at the ritzy Carlton Tower in London's Knightsbridge section. Yes, the action film star who's shooting the long-discussed British big screen caper Judge Dredd in London needs to feel like he's at home, away from home. Sources tell us Stallone, who's staying at the hotel for the entire shoot, has hired designers to change the room's drapes and carpeting and have several pieces of furniture removed. He's also had some of the walls covered with wallpaper and had several of his own paintings flown in to spruce up the place. Now, just think about that. This guy lives in Florida.
Wow,
he flew these paintings from Florida to fucking London. All right. The cost, believed somewhere between $140,000, $160,000, was all picked up by Stallone. No word on whether he'll bring the nearly naked full life statue of himself and Brigitte Nielsen, which he commissioned during their marriage for that extra touch of class. So I give you Sly's hotel bill from August 10th, 1994.
Wow.
That's ridiculous.
Is that how you guys roll on the road? Do you have stuff sent out?
Yeah, man. No.
Socks.
Socks.
Send us socks. We don't
Socks
clean
and
socks.
some underwear would be great. Yeah.
We get bottles of water from the clubs.
We do.
Lots of beer.
Occasional cases of beer.
Yeah.
Nice. So you guys roll high. Do you actually use the disposable razor that they leave you on the counter?
I've never seen a disposable
I've
razor.
never seen one. No.
I haven't either. This is a dated art. It's 1994. I guess back then they did that. I don't think I've ever seen a razor.
blades,
in my
dude.
It would have came in handy a couple times.
Yeah, I know. That would have been lit. Yeah, where's those at? Let's bring those back, dude.
But they're only
And
single
laundry.
blades.
Q-tips.
Yeah, and Q-tips and laundry services. Let's bring it all back. We need all of it.
Fucking 90s. Bring it back. All right, Mark.
All right, Joe Findlay, what did you bring for the news round?
All right. Well, I got a pretty interesting one for you. That's not a downer. You guys are always on me for that, but I found a pretty fun one. August 7th, 1974, a French performer, Philippe Petit, was in New York City, and only 1 week from his 25th birthday, walked on a tightrope between the Twin Towers. The French-born acrobat spent 6 years planning this walk. He was 18 years old when he came up with the idea for this thing. And he actually went and practiced on other famous structures. He walked between the two towers of the Notre Dame de Paris. He walked across the two pylons of the Sydney Harbor Bridge. He, got himself into a lot of trouble with this, but he had his little gang of cohorts. And essentially, the rest of this story kind of comes off like an Ocean's 11 movie. These guys cased the World Trade Center. So, I mean, FBI, just chill. I'm cool right now. They were casing the World Trade Center for weeks and weeks, watching what all the maintenance workers wore, what all the blue collar people wore and stuff like that. So they could dress up like those, pass off as them, and constantly break in to the building over and over and over again to get the information that they needed. Philippe Petit, they went in as maintenance workers up the elevator shafts and stuff like that. He actually even went as a reporter one time and interviewed people on the roof. So he had access to the roof to see what that was like. The night before, he got in with his gang and they went up with all the equipment necessary, and using a bow and arrow, they shot a rope across from one tower to the other, and they pulled up the 400-pound steel cable and attached it in place. And at 7:00 in the morning, he began a 45-minute performance on the tightrope for onlookers. This is obviously not advertised because it's not legal. And people just, showing up for work that day and just walking down the street, all of a sudden just look up and see a man walking across the tightrope. He crossed between the two buildings 8 times. He laid down on the tightrope and knelt down and gave a salute to his fans. Police, Port Authority police were trying on both buildings to get him to come down, and finally threatened to actually pluck him off of the tightrope with a helicopter. So he eventually got off only because it started raining. obviously arrested on the spot as he went, but then because the PR for it ended up being so good, the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey gave him an unlimited lifetime pass to the observation deck of the Twin Towers, and he had his autograph on one of the pillars up there, and he didn't spend any time in jail. All he had to do was they didn't press charges on condition that he did a free show for kids in Central Park. So this crazy story, the movie the whole incident got made into 2 different documentaries. One of them won an Oscar for Best Documentary. It was also made into the Robert Zemeckis film The Walk, starring Joseph Gordon-Levitt. So, I mean, it was a big thing that happened, and actually they even said it helped raise the PR of the Twin Towers themselves, which actually were called ugly by a lot of critics, and they still hadn't sold off all of the office space in the buildings yet at that point. They had afterwards. So, you know, what goes from a heist to a pretty good news story is Philippe Petit crossing the Twin Towers on August 7th, 1974.
Wow.
That was amazing.
Yeah, that was
I
brilliant.
love that movie. I saw that movie a long time ago.
Yeah.
I think I saw that movie in school.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, guys. So,
Oh,
sorry.
we
Go
all
ahead.
right, guys. So, for my news story, we're gonna head over to the Fort Lauderdale News, August 11th, 1984.
Florida. This is gonna be good.
It's already my list.
White House officials kept a stony silence towards widespread reports that President Reagan had joked into a microphone Saturday that the United States would start to bomb the Soviet Union in 5 minutes. The Gannett News Service, CBS Radio, and other news outlets all reported that Reagan had made a joke while testing a microphone in preparation for his regular weekly radio address. Reagan was quoted in the CBS report as saying in a clearly joking tone, "My fellow Americans, I am pleased to announce I just signed legislation that will outlaw Russia forever. We begin bombing in 5 minutes." It was known that CBS and the cable news network that recorded the remark at the time was made, although neither outlet played the words on air Sunday when it was reported. A White House spokesperson told a reporter who learned of the joke on Saturday that anything the president said before his radio address was off the record, and they declined to comment more. But another spokesperson commented saying any comment that the president would make in advance of his radio address would be off the record, and we don't discuss it. However, it is unlikely that the matter would be quickly forgotten since the low state of relations between Moscow and Washington. The Soviet Union declined to comment on today's remarks. And, well, just as predicted in the article, this was not quickly forgotten. And by August 14th, the event had become a major news event in Moscow. And the joke was not treated as a laughing matter. On August 15th, a coded message was sent from Soviet military headquarters, and it said in part, "We now embark on military action against U.S. forces." The coded message was quickly deciphered by the Japanese and the United States intelligence, and upon hearing the message, a very confused Soviet naval unit off the coast of Alaska radioed back to headquarters to confirm what they had said, and at the same time, the Japanese army readied their military. Come to find out, it was all just a wayward Soviet radio operator who sent out the message as a joke in response to Reagan's joke. And some people said that he was probably even most likely drunk. So the alert was canceled 30 minutes after, and everyone stood down. So I give you the time that we almost went to war over a joke in August of 1984.
I like that one a lot. So okay, so here's my deal. I need to give my point, at least I do, to you, because my uncle probably wasn't totally a spy for America during that time period. He definitely wasn't. He definitely was not. Definitely not stationed in West Berlin. Don't worry about it. I'm giving my point to you.
Wow.
But he
All
wasn't,
right.
for sure. He definitely doesn't know Russian. Definitely didn't work on any of those telecommunications. So don't worry about it. Not at all.
So that's where
And now
we're going.
my
Are you
turn?
guys? Well,
Oh,
you guys have
you
to
guys
make
are-
one decision, so you might have to fight
Oh,
this
wait,
one out.
decision. Okay. All right. Sorry. You can go. You feeling
I
World
like
Trade?
the World
I
Trade
like World
Center.
Trade Center too. Though deep down is where my heart is.
Yeah, it took me back to like high school watching
And
it.
it was.
And it's a good
It's a good story. It's a great story.
Comes up from nothing.
It felt good.
He did something illegal
It's lit.
and he got away with it. So
Yeah.
I'm there.
Okay, we're going that way.
Yeah.
Done.
Oh.
It's done. All right.
Oh.
Swayed.
Sorry, I was
Ripped
right.
away
No,
from me.
it felt right.
Yeah.
Because initially that was where I was going.
Yeah,
Not gonna lie.
right when he started.
Yeah, I was like, well, I'm in. You sold me.
Big day. I'm glad because I said so many words there, and I really, really didn't want to have that have been for nothing.
If you were gonna go Reagan, started talking about aliens or something, I was all in. But Reagan
Yes.
just joking about war.
I just try to keep getting that uncle to tell me he's a spy. He won't
Yeah.
tell me, but I believe he. I think he was.
Why don't we
So
call
I'm
him?
like, I'm just gonna keep saying it until maybe, lets me know.
All
Why
right,
don't-
Joe Findlay.
Why don't we buzz him right now? Let's get to the bottom of this.
Yeah.
Give him a ring. Yeah.
Just say, hey, look, we need to know. Were you or were you not?
This is a good time to plug our new single All Summer
Yeah.
that comes out video
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Today, maybe. It might
Today.
be today. Depends on when we air
When this airs, yes.
This
But
is true.
it.
Single Summer, check it out. Plugging it.
Sing
Hello, summer.
all
It's your new
They
favorite
have-
song. You're gonna love it. My
Summer.
God, you can stream it everywhere. My
They have
God.
figured it out.